Hi friends and welcome to my channel Universal TV. Today I will tell you the story of most chilling unsolved mystery case. In late 1960, a mysterious killer terrorized Northern California, taunting police and the media with cryptic letters and ciphers, calling himself the Zodiac.
5 nights before Christmas, high school students Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday set out on their first official date together, promising Betty Lou's parents they'd be home by 11 p.m. Shortly after that time, passing motorists saw the Rambler and its occupants parked at a lover's lane spot along Lake Herman Road in Benicia, California. Moments later, another driver noticed two seemingly lifeless bodies on the side of the road. Benicia police and others responded to the scene and discovered Betty Lou dead, with 5 bullet wounds in her back. David was found next to the Rambler with a bullet wound in his head, still breathing but near death. Bullet holes in the car's roof and back window indicated that the killer may have fired warning shots to force the victims out of the vehicle. Shell casings recovered at the crime scene identified ammunition as Winchester Western Super X copper-coated. Ballistic evidence indicated that the killer used a .22 caliber, possibly a J.C. Higgins Model 80 semi-automatic pistol. Investigators believe the two teenagers were likely random targets killed by a stranger for unknown reasons. 22-year-old Darlene Farron was a wife, mother, and a popular waitress at a Vallejo restaurant. On the night of July 4th, she picked up friend Michael Majot and stopped her Corvair in the parking lot of Blue Rock Springs Park. Michael later told police that another vehicle pulled into the lot around midnight and then left only to return minutes later. The driver got out of the car, shined a bright light, and fired into the Corvair with a 9mm handgun. Michael was shot in the jaw, shoulder, and leg. Darlene was hit several times. At 12:40 p.m., in a call later traced to a gas station payphone, a man rang the Vallejo Police Department and claimed responsibility for the shooting as well as the murders on Lake Herman Road. According to the police dispatcher, the caller spoke in a low, monotonous voice saying,
Vallejo Police Department.
I want to report a double murder.
May I have your
If you
name
go 1
and where
mile
you're calling?
east on Columbus Parkway, a public park, you'll find kids in a brown car. They were shot with a 9mm Luger. I also killed those kids last year. Goodbye.
Darlene died on arrival at the hospital, but Michael survived. Investigators were unable to identify any viable suspects. In August 1969, 3 major newspapers, the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald, received identical letters. Each letter contained details of the murders that only the killer could know. Accompanying these confessions was something else, a cipher. The killer demanded the ciphers be published on the front page, or he would kill again. One of the ciphers was soon cracked by a school teacher, Donald Harden, and his wife. It revealed a horrifying message.
I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest, because man is the most dangerous animal of all. To kill something gives me the most thrilling experience. It is even better than getting your rocks off with a girl. The best part of it is when I die, I will be reborn in paradise, and they have killed will become my slaves. I will not give you my name because you will try to slow down or atop my collectiog of slaves. For my afterlife, Ebiorietemith piti.
The letters were signed with a symbol, a cross inside a circle. Beneath it were the words, the Zodiac, a name that would haunt Northern California forever. On a Saturday in late September, college students Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were relaxing along the shore of Lake Berryessa, some 30 miles north of Napa, California. A man appeared holding a gun and wearing a hooded costume with a white crossed circle stitched over the chest. Explaining that he had escaped from a prison and needed money and a car to escape to Mexico, the stranger bound their wrists with pre-cut lengths of plastic clothesline. Without warning, he plunged a large knife into Brian's back 6 times. He then stabbed Cecilia 10 times as she fought for her life. The man then walked to Brian's car and used a pen to draw a crossed circle on the door with the dates and locations of the previous attacks. The date, September 27, 69, the time 6:30, and the notation, by knife. At 7:40 p.m., a man called the Napa Police Department to report a double murder.
Napa Police Department. I want to report a murder. No. A double murder. They are 2 miles north of parking headquarters. They were in a white Volkswagen Carbon Ghia. I'm the one that did it.
Cecilia died 2 days later, but Brian survived.
This came out since then, but he told me at that time that he had killed a guard getting out of a prison, and so I did take him as a killer. To me, a killer isn't a normal person, so I assumed at the time that something was wrong. He wanted our money. And I actually laughed at the moment because I told him, I says, I've only got 75 cents in my pocket. And I says, you're welcome to have it. But if you need help,
Paul Stein, a 28-year-old student and husband, worked as a cab driver in San Francisco. That night, Stein picked up a fare headed for a destination in the upscale Presidio Heights neighborhood. At the intersection of Washington and Cherry Streets, the passenger shot Stein in the head and removed a piece of the victim's shirt. The man walked away just before the police arrived, but the police radio broadcast mistakenly described the suspect as a black man, and passing officers dismissed a white man resembling the correct description. Fingerprints found on the driver's side of the cab may have belonged to the killer, and a sketch was produced based on descriptions provided by witnesses. The case was considered a routine robbery until the office of the San Francisco Chronicle received an envelope with a letter from the Zodiac, which began with the words, "I am the murderer of the taxi driver." The envelope also contained a blood-stained piece of Paul Stein's shirt. The Zodiac denied he left fingerprints and claimed the police sketch was inaccurate because he had worn a disguise. The Zodiac continued to send letters, each more unsettling than the last. He claimed to have killed 37 people, though only 7 were confirmed. In one letter, he threatened to attack a school bus.
School children make fine targets. I think I shall wipe out a school bus some morning. Just shoot out the front tire and then pick off the kiddies as they come bouncing out.
Now, what are you doing to protect the school buses, particularly in San Francisco, from that?
In San Francisco, we have been, since the first day, since the reception of this note, and up to now and continuing, we have a number of plainclothes officers following buses in the morning and in the evening.
I shall wipe out a school bus some morning, shoot out the tires, and then pick off the kiddies as they come bounding out. That was the threat of the Zodiac killer. Now, every day, police cars follow the buses which would be likely targets. Officers armed with shotguns take the threat seriously.
The public was gripped with fear. Schools added security, and the Zodiac's cryptic ciphers became a nationwide obsession. On a Sunday in late March, 22-year-old Kathleen Johns packed her infant daughter into a station wagon and left San Bernardino, California, to visit her sick mother in Petaluma, in the northern part of the state. Kathleen was also 7 months pregnant with the child of her longtime boyfriend. As she traveled on Highway 132 near Modesto, another vehicle pulled alongside the station wagon, and the driver appeared to signal that Kathleen should pull over. On the side of the road, the driver explained that the back wheel of Kathleen's station wagon was loose, but he promised to fix the problem. Instead, he loosened the lug nuts and the wheel fell off as Kathleen tried to drive away. The man then offered to drive Kathleen to a gas station, but she climbed into his car and discovered he appeared to have other plans. She claimed he also made veiled threats to harm her child. Eventually, Kathleen grabbed her daughter and jumped from the car. A passing driver took Kathleen to a nearby police station, where she identified the stranger from a police sketch of the Zodiac. Months later, a Zodiac letter mentioned a rather interesting ride with a woman and her baby. The Zodiac killer stopped writing in 1974, but the case remains open. His ciphers, including one that was cracked in 2020, continue to intrigue cryptographers and enthusiasts. The Zodiac killer case remains one of the most enduring mysteries in criminal history. Despite advancements in DNA technology and numerous investigations, the killer's identity has never been confirmed. His cryptic ciphers, hooded figure, and taunting letters have cemented his place as one of America's most infamous serial killers.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to like, comment and share it. And I will see you in the next video. Until then, keep the universe of knowledge alive.